were gold.
How did you find a way to run from the city of the sun? You could have stayed, it's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice, raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice, raise your power, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of planet Earth, the internet, and parts some might call unknown. It is time for Season 8, Episode 4 of the House Divided podcast.
Is this where I say yes?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Yes.
No.
Okay, fair enough. We, you guys got a sneak peek of the notes. Oops.
Ah, well.
We have ourselves a show this week. Kind of. Not really. A show is happening. There we go.
It is.
So with that being said, that's the intro. Bad take of the week. Jordan, you want to lead us off or you want me to?
Oh boy. I had a different one.
Okay.
But I found this in my very short break post stream. That
No, a late entry.
Was just too insane to be ignored.
A late entry.
Yeah, very late entry. I mean, we're talking. I have the screenshot. I screenshotted this at 8:17. It is now 8:48.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. So Deion Sanders had a press conference before this upcoming game for the Colorado Buffaloes.
It's Baylor.
And yes.
Yep.
Now Deion Sanders is not the stupid person of the week. There was a question
Oh no.
that was asked by a reporter, basically asking Deion about the potential threat of rain. The reporter is also not the stupid person of the week. And it's not even the other reporter that when Deion pushed back on it about how his forecast says there's only a 30% chance of rain instead of what the reporter said was 60.
Okay. Yep.
We're arguing about percentage of chance of rain.
Yep. Okay, I'm with you.
We head to the Facebook comments, and it's not the reporter that was just like, oh yeah, mine says 30 as well. No, it's not that one. We head to the Facebook comments in Mike. Mike. Does Deion realize that 30% chance of rain means that it will rain in 30% of the coverage area? It does not mean there is a 30% chance that it will rain. I'm guessing he does not know that. And I didn't know that there are people that thought that that's what that meant. So, I mean, I've never heard that from any person on this planet. Ever.
I've heard it a lot.
Oh, there's people that think this?
Yes.
That's not at all what it means. It's chance of rain. Not chance of the coverage of the rain. It's the chance of rain.
Starting off hot.
Deserving to
Mike.
to be in this segment.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Mine.
His name might as well just be like Mike Wazowski, because I can't pronounce it.
Mine comes from everybody's favorite Michigan State Twitter account.
Oh God, there's a couple. There are a couple gems.
I want to see if you can guess this one. I guess since you know them more than I do, I want to see if you can guess this one.
So it's either got to be Daily MSU or MSU Goblin.
It's Daily MSU. It's Daily MSU. You got that on the first go.
I'm very happy that my Twitter algorithm doesn't really show me much Daily MSU anymore, when it did for a long time.
This is the first time I've seen him in a hot minute. Talking about this upcoming game against USC on Saturday.
Michigan's game against USC, yes.
Yes. Sharon Moore, and he also spelled Sharon wrong. So we're starting off hot.
Tricky name. Sharon with an E.
Yep.
And maybe an extra R.
He missed the extra R. He had an extra E in there.
Sharoni. Sharoni Moore.
No, he had the E where the second R is supposed to be. Or well, the first R. He has it spelled Sharon Moore just cost Michigan their game on Saturday. Not only because he has Alex Orji starting, but because he gave USC 5 days to prepare for how the offense will look with him under center full time. Crucial mistake from a head coach, clearly in over his head.
Okay, so now, I actually saw a quick sidebar on this. I actually saw a bunch of this where Sharon had to answer the question of why he named a starter
on Monday
before the game, and it's just like, why not? I mean, you figure that it can't be Davis Warren again.
Yeah.
You throw 3 picks against Arkansas State, you cannot start against the top 25 team. And even if Alex Orji is as bad as that is,
Something different.
If he plays just as bad as Davis Warren does, it's something different.
Yeah. Now, here's my thing. We're going to ignore the last sentence of crucial mistake of a coach clearly in over their head. But I want to know, where is Daily MSU seeing this film that they think USC is going to see on Alex Orji? Alex Orji's thrown 5 passes all year. What film? I don't even think Michigan knows what they're going to get with Alex Orji.
I mean, unless you want to go back to like probably less than 20 snaps that he took last year. I don't know. They were mostly runs.
Yeah.
They were mostly runs, just like everything he's done this season so far has been mostly runs.
I want to know, like, what film that Daily MSU is seeing that USC is going to have. Because Alex Orji doesn't have film.
I mean, any bit of film that I usually see from Alex Orji is one of 2 things. It's damn near no passing. It is quarterback power.
It's quarterback power, or him dirting a ball.
Yeah. Well, or I mean, there have been some quarterback, outside zone, inside zone.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of quarterback runs.
Yeah, power zone.
For Alex Orji, he is very seldom thrown the ball in his time at Michigan.
Yeah, there's not a lot of film. Like, so I want to know what USC is looking at. Like,
well, you see, the simple answer to that question is that they hired Connor Stallions, and so they have practice film actually. Connor Stallions has upped his game, and he is getting practice film for USC.
I see. Okay, I see.
We'll get more into that game later.
Yes, we will. Once. Okay, I need to get. There we go. We're back. On to the news. Unless you have anything else to add.
Not about that game right now. Outside of Daily MSU is not the only person questioning whether or not Sharon should have named a starter. And by the way, Sharon only said that he did to instill confidence in Alex Orji. That was his answer. He actually answered a question about why he named a starter on Monday.
No comment. No comment.
Unreal.
Moving on to the news. We're starting with Georgia football.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Oh, I wonder what this could be.
Right. Georgia cornerback Daniel Harris was arrested for reckless driving and other driving misdemeanors on Friday before their game on Saturday. Harris was arrested going 106 miles per hour.
Do we have the speed limit in that section? On that stretch of road?
Probably a lot slower than 106.
Oh damn! It would have been the most Georgia thing ever if it was like a 35.
I'm guessing since it was obviously if it was reckless driving, he's going 106. I'd say max of 75 in that zone.
I don't think you're able to go 100 miles per hour on the road anywhere in this country.
I don't think so.
So, truth be told, it could be reckless driving just about anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unreal.
We had talked about this on maybe Friday, maybe Saturday when this news broke.
Yep.
I had asked you how many times you thought this was for a Georgia player getting arrested for a traffic violation of speeding, reckless driving, or other violation.
Hell, just under Kirby Smart alone.
And you had said 20. You were pretty close. Since the 2021, I believe it was, or 2021, 2022 accident that had killed a couple people, this was the 24th time.
That's just flat out unbelievable.
All Kirby Smart said of this, and I didn't put this piece in the news, but because I saw it just like 30 minutes ago after I got out of the shower. All Kirby Smart said when asked about it today was something has to change. He's been saying that for 3 years now.
Something has to change. The 24th player under your watch just committed a DUI and/or driving offense. Now, I get that he's the coach. He doesn't control their lives outside of this. But holy shit.
24 times. I'm sorry. No, 24 times since the January 15, 2023 crash that killed offensive lineman Devin Wilcock and recruiting staff member Chanley LaCroix. So 24 times since 2023. So
this is 2024.
Yeah, this is September 2024.
I mean, what we talk about great traditions in college football, I swear. I mean, we got the Kinnick wave.
Yep.
Notre Dame blowing things early in the season.
Yep.
The Michigan touching the banner. All great college football traditions. Georgia players committing driving offenses is apparently in college football tradition at this point. Now, it's not a great college football tradition at all. But this is just unreal. It feels like you have 5 players a season.
At least. Like this
it's just crazy.
It's just absurd.
The amount of players at Georgia that get charged with more or less the same thing.
It's just absurd. Moving on.
I don't get
it. And actually, real quick before we move on, the response of something has to change is just like,
yeah, something has to change after the 24th one.
What are we doing?
23rd.
Yeah,
not the 23rd, but the 24th is the deal breaker.
Yeah. What are we doing? Moving on to more. What are we doing? Twins 2024 6th round pick catcher Derek Bender has been released after less than 2 months of being drafted. Bender was released for, drum roll please,
incredible. This is incredible.
So you've seen this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, so this story, I want to say, broke a while ago.
Yeah, and he just now got released.
Yeah, but he didn't get released immediately.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of old news.
Yes.
The release makes it fresh again.
Yeah. Was released for telling opposing hitters what pitch was coming in a game that had playoff implications. It gets better. Fort Myers, the team that Derek Bender played for, was alerted by Fort Myers coaching staff was alerted by Lakeland coaching staff that Bender was tipping pitches in the game. And it still gets worse. Because this is the worst part. Bender told teammates the reason that he did it was because he wanted the season to be over with so he could go home.
Yeah.
Loser.
I don't really think I have words for that. Like, it's one thing if, say, you're, like, betting on games and you're trying to fix games.
Yeah.
There's like an actual logical, not really logical, but like there's a reason. You got drafted to play professional baseball.
Yep.
And you are actively helping your opponent because you decided you didn't want to play professional baseball anymore.
Yeah, you just wanted the season to be done with. Yeah, you wanted to go on the early vacation.
It's just, it has to be one of the craziest stories I've ever heard, and I just don't know if there's another example of something like that happening, where somebody just says, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to help my opponent win to let me play golf. I don't know if he plays golf.
I don't know
what he'd probably play golf. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about, like, there are no words.
I mean, it's a hilarious story, only because it didn't happen to my teams. It's just, what do you say?
Yeah, like there's no words. Like you work your entire life to be a professional athlete. And
that's the thing, is that you don't make it and you don't get drafted if you don't give it everything you got to get to where you are and to get to that position where you do get drafted. And then to just months after you do get drafted be like, yeah, I want the season to be over. I'm gonna help my opponent win.
it's just absolutely absurd.
Unreal.
Let's move on. This is news
Couldn't happen to a nicer team.
Right. This is news that just kind of irritates me, and it broke. It's broke at different times. Reportedly, the NFL has said that the Mike Gesicki touchdown catch in the Bengals opening day loss to the Patriots should not have been overturned.
Now, I didn't watch a lot of that game. I'm not familiar with the play, but this is just what the NFL does.
Yeah.
They can say that the ref screwed up and replay screwed up and whatever. Nothing changes. Things are always just going to be bad. And I mean because you have the officials that you have. We've seen replacement refs before. That worked out terrible. The NFL just feels stuck with the people that they have employed at the current moment, and nothing's ever going to change.
Nope.
So we just have to get used to calls being bad.
Yep.
And now, once again, not familiar with the play, didn't see it. But it's just, it's... You take away from the validity of your sport, essentially, when you just allow refs to just screw up and just come out later and be like, oh, yeah, we blew it. Okay, well, let's move on. We admitted fault, guys!
Yeah, if you're going to go back and admit fault 3, 4, 5 days later, there needs to be something. There needs to be repercussions. Like, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, change the record, because, okay, yeah, you count the touchdown, the Bengals would probably end up winning 17-16. But you change the touchdown, you also don't know how that affects that game. So I'm not saying
the game completely changes, and I get why they can't. I'm not saying they should go back and just change records just because.
No, I'm not either.
Counted that didn't, because you can't do that.
No,
there is very few instances in all of sports that I say you should be able to do that.
Correct, I agree.
The only one that I can think of is the Armando Galarraga perfect game.
Yes,
that would have been the last out of the game.
Yes.
That would have been it. There is no anything after that, if that's called correctly.
Correct.
So yeah, no, you can't go back and change the record of things, but it's just always going to be this cycle of
bad call,
apology, nothing happens.
Yeah, like, so I'm not asking, oh, go change the record, and I don't even remember who officiated this game.
It's usually a good thing.
Which is usually a good thing. But if you're going to go through the hoops of going 3, 4 days, 5 days later and saying, oh yeah, they screwed up, there needs to be
10 or 12 days later, since that was week 1.
Yeah. Well, this did come out on last week.
Oh.
This came out like Thursday or Friday of last week. If you're going to go through the process of going through it, the officiating crew at least needs to have some form of repercussions. But there's never going to be one. And it's just asinine, so why even go through it? Because all it does then is it makes fans believe, and there's a lot of fans right now that believe that there is some form of favoritism in the league. There's a lot of players that believe it.
There's also fans that believe that the NFL is rigged. Like they believe that the NFL is the WWE.
Is just directly rigged, and this doesn't help your case. So don't even go through this process.
Yeah.
So that's that.
I mean,
it's just asinine. Moving on, unless you have anything else to add to it.
Negative.
Okay.
Trying to get in and get out as quickly as we can.
And some good news. Former NBA player and fan favorite goofball Boban Marjanovic has signed a contract to play with the European team Fenerbahce. There is a clause that he can get out of it if he gets if an NBA team has interest. Good for Boban.
Yeah, that's not uncommon to see somebody sign in Europe or wherever else to play, especially basketball, to play and then have a clause where, yeah, if you get an NBA contract, go for it. Which, good on those leagues, good on those teams for including those. I, as a Pistons fan, have been able to watch Boban, I believe, for a season at most.
Yeah.
We never really used him as much as I would have liked. It just seems when it comes to the NBA that just like big guys where you're just like, good luck trying to do anything on a 7-foot plus center. They just don't see playing time.
No, they don't.
It's so bizarre. But big fan of Boban. Good
He's a
for
fun
him.
guy. He's fun. He's got a great personality. We're talking one of the.
And I mean, it's a guy that hasn't had a remarkable NBA career, but I mean, he's been in commercials. He's been everything because he's a likable guy.
Yeah, he's very likable. Good for Boban. I'm glad he is. This will probably be some of the only NBA news we talk about until maybe the trade deadline. Maybe.
Before we even talk about that, we are not exactly an NBA show.
So, good for Boban. Like I said, he's just easy to like, easy to root for, and even as someone who was not a Pistons fan, he was easy to root for as a Cavs fan because he was just likable. And finally, Jordan spoke some of this into existence too. I want to blame him for the news. John Gruden makes his way back to into the news via an interview.
That is a name I have not thought about since the last time we brought him up on this show.
Yep, a couple weeks ago, Jordan asked who our John Gruden was going to be. Well, John Gruden's back for a week. In an interview with CBS Sports, Gruden said, soon enough, that the legal system and due process will reveal who leaked the emails that got him fired. He then alluded to the fact that he knows who it is, but then again followed it up and said, due process will make sure they get theirs. I'm not done with this news, because it keeps getting better. He also followed that with saying he intends to coach again, but this time at the college level. CBS Sports interviewed a handful of athletic directors that they could get a hold of that would comment on the situation. One said it would have to be at the absolute right time and the absolute right team. He followed that up with, it definitely wouldn't be Florida. And then an SEC AD saying there's no shot in hell he'd be at a Power 4 school.
It'll be Youngstown State, if not worse.
Agreed.
And granted, college football, when it comes to coaches, is going to have a little bit less morals.
Yes.
They don't care about that as long as you're going to win. The NFL, there's only 32 of you. You're going to be on their spotlight all the time.
Yep.
You can't hire John Gruden just out of the blue. A college like Youngstown State could totally hire it. It don't matter.
I wasn't even necessarily thinking like a Youngstown State. I was thinking like, because let's be honest, I think Gruden, there's no way in hell he's going to go do an FCS school because he's way too much ego and way too stupid for that. If
he wants to coach that bad, that might be his only option.
I
really don't see him going anywhere outside of like the Mountain West, which is imploding as we speak, but
I could see him going to like a UConn or a UMass, just this absolute hole in the wall school that would be like, we need a dude with a pulse, and
for what? For what?
Exactly.
You'd be going to an FCS or an FBS independent that has no football tradition. Gruden wouldn't even do that. He'd probably rather go to an FCS school than those two.
The fact that Deion Sanders has more, and we don't know how true the rumors last offseason were of Deion Sanders going to places, other Power 4 schools that weren't Colorado, or even before he went to Colorado, the rumors of Power 4 schools wanting him. But the fact that there were rumors about Deion leaving Colorado to go to any other Power 4 school, but nobody wants to even touch John Gruden with a 50-foot pole, says something about John Gruden. And then the fact that he's acting like he was wronged and he did nothing wrong whatsoever. Brother,
yeah, that's the thing that drives me insane about this, is because he wants to release the name of the person that leaked the email. For what?
like,
Nobody on this planet is probably going to know who this person is. You don't look good coming out of it because you offended just about every other group that you could possibly offend by just things that you said in emails.
it's like, brother, you're still a shitbag.
You're an ass. Like, I don't think that's... I think that's something that John Gruden doesn't understand.
No, God, no.
And going to wrap this up, this is not the only time this podcast season that we are going to talk about what was at one point a prolonged news story, because something is going to come out in the Mel Tucker story. I hope you know.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
At some point in the season, there is no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Mel Tucker's lawsuit for wrongful termination from Michigan State. And it's a very similar battle that, okay, you're for one, Gruden doesn't even have an actual lawsuit out there.
Yes, he does.
Gruden just does, well, I know he's got I think he might also have a wrongful termination lawsuit, yes?
He has something against the NFL or Goodell, and I think he might have a lawsuit against the Raiders, too.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, you're going to lose that one.
Mel Tucker does have the lawsuit as well for the wrongful termination. You're not gonna win it. You're gonna drag this out as long as you can.
Yep. And
it's not going anywhere. I didn't know Gruden actually had a real in-court lawsuit.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Because what's the point?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if it's wrong.
Emails using about every slur in existence.
Yeah, one of them is a defamation lawsuit, which is why he's throwing the term due process.
The defamation lawsuit should have been thrown out the second he filed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like,
because it can't be defamation
when you actually said it.
Those are things you said.
Like, the fact he's trying to make it look with the due process will make sure that the person who leaked it will get theirs. Dude, you're still an ass. You're still a shitbag.
There's no due process. He just wants to let everybody know, mainly, we're not a political podcast, but probably mainly, the Trumpers who leaked all this stuff, because those are things that they believe in and they say. They'll have John Gruden's back, and all of a sudden, John Gruden will become the greatest coach of all time in their heads. And then he should be getting a job. He's locked out of the NFL. He's being censored.
Yep.
I don't even know John Gruden's political affiliation, but something tells me that's what he's reaching for.
Yeah, like, it's just a debacle. Hopefully we don't hear more about this, because you're right, we are probably going to hear more about Mel Tucker. Let's move on to the Week 3 college football recap. A lot of shitty football games happened in Week 3.
Yeah, let's go.
A lot of bad... Like, this isn't even the bad football that's fun. Some of this was just bad football.
Some of this was... So the problem with this week is some of it was bad football from one team. Their opponent, however, played good.
Number 1, Georgia. This game was just bad football all around.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Georgia beat Kentucky 13-12. Georgia scored their only touchdown. I believe the only touchdown of the game with about 9 minutes left in the game. Game was bad.
either this Georgia team is not the Georgia team of years past, or Kentucky is for real. I'm leaning on the side of, based on just past tradition and everything else, that Georgia might not be that good.
From what bit I watched, because this game was on while I was doing the Colorado State sidecast. I got to the back end of this game, the final couple minutes. That Georgia offense, especially under Carson Beck, might be ass. Which is saying something considering Stetson Bennett was also the quarterback.
Yep.
Like, wow. Moving on.
Lost them the number 1 ranking.
Yes, it did. Moving on, Texas beat UTSA 56-7. The only notable thing from this game, Quinn Ewers went out in the midway through the first quarter after throwing 2 touchdown passes, so it didn't really hurt much. Arch Manning came in, threw for 4 touchdown passes, ran for 1. That's really it.
67 yards.
That one was really good.
Which is really crazy. My only note on this game is really crazy to think about a Manning having speed.
Yeah. Just absurd.
Which is just not in that family's gene pool.
No.
Archie's playing before anybody was really trying to scramble. Peyton was slow. Eli was slow. The other one, Cooper, was bad at football. And then now, all of a sudden, Arch Manning's fast.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
I don't know.
I mean, Cooper was a wide receiver. He just wasn't. Between health issues and not being great.
Well, now that's Cooper's kid, so maybe it makes sense.
That is true. Moving on. Quinn Ewers, by the way, actually, abdominal strain, might not play this week against the Little Sisters of the Poor Tech. Arch Manning's not taking his starting spot. Let's stop with that now.
No. But now, granted, if you're a Texas fan, you should feel great about what you saw from Arch.
Yes.
However, you have Quinn Ewers right now, who, if he continues on this current path, should be the top quarterback taken in the draft.
And probably the Heisman winner.
And probably, yes, also the Heisman.
Moving on now. Number 4, Alabama played Wisconsin. Rare non-conference true road game for Alabama.
Yeah.
Didn't matter because Wisconsin is booty. Alabama won 42-10. Wisconsin's quarterback got hurt in the first quarter, and it wouldn't have made any difference.
Yeah. Who cares? I mean, you played Wisconsin. We knew from the first 2 weeks that Wisconsin wasn't good, so
yeah,
exactly what everyone expected.
Not too big on this. Number 5, Ole Miss played Wake Forest, beat them 40-6. Only note on this, and I am high on on Ole Miss. I mean, yes, the ACC is ass. The only real note on this game: this was supposed to be a home and home next year. Wake Forest bought out, so they don't have to go to Ole Miss.
So what you're saying is that they probably got paid from the game and then immediately paid them back.
Yep.
Because
they didn't want the smoke a second year in a row.
Generally, that's how home and homes go.
Yeah.
Like, even Michigan, Texas. Michigan paid Texas $1 million to lose.
Yep.
For Michigan to lose. But, however, Texas is paying Michigan $1 million when they play again
in 2 years.
2 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only note from this game.
Yep.
And what was probably the best game of the week, number 6 Missouri beat number 24 Boston College 27-21. There's hope for the ACC to have one good team in Boston College.
Yeah, I really like BC.
I am very high on them.
They might just be my wagon this year, I swear.
Yeah.
Not to do anything crazy, not to win the national championship, but ACC title should be in their reach.
Very possible. They played
very, very bad ACC.
Very bad ACC. They played a pretty good Missouri team tough. They had a lead for a good chunk of this game.
Yeah, Missouri is prime. They're here. They're a very solid team, and BC hung tough. And I mean, maybe come to think of it, maybe Florida State's good.
No.
And maybe BC's just better.
No. Florida State lost to Memphis. No.
I do not believe that, by the way.
I mean, yes, BC is better than Florida State.
It was the first team all year to be declared ass, so...
I mean, yes, Boston College, you are technically half right. Boston College is better than Florida State. Yeah, I like this BC team. I think they have a very good shot of winning the ACC. They played Missouri tough. Moving on, number 7, Tennessee beat Kent State 71-0. That's...
They didn't cover.
Kent State did not cover.
That's kind of what I get for taking 48.5.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say about that game. That game looked terrible. Kent State is ass. Number 9, Oregon finally looked good, and like they belonged in the top 10, beat Oregon State. They proved me wrong. Beat Oregon State 49-14.
Yeah, so I was at work when this game was happening. I turned this on, and so every time I was able to actually, like, watch the game, I would just see the Oregon State crowd just pumped up, making tons of noise, and then... even when I was actually able to see them making a ton of noise, then transition into the score appearing, they were down, which was a little bit unfortunate. So that crowd was there, but Oregon actually looked like a real fucking threat for the first time this season.
It'll be interesting to see if they carry that on.
Yeah, and Oregon State did not.
Yeah. No. This game just wasn't good. I thought this was going to be a lot tighter just because Oregon did not look good throughout the year or throughout the first 2 weeks.
One-score games their first 2 games against opponents seemingly way worse.
Yeah, something either may have clicked or Oregon State might just be worse than what we thought. Moving on. Ball State is balls. They played Miami. Miami won 62-0. Whoa. At some point, Miami's gonna Miami themselves. Mario Cristobal's gonna do something dumb. All we got.
Maybe.
Number 12, Utah played Utah State. No Cam Rising, no problems for Utah. They won 38-21. Cam Rising's healthy this week. We'll talk about that game in the picks. This Utah team, I say it a lot, is scary good.
I like Utah. I like them a lot.
I do too. Number 13.
You lose potentially your best player in Cam Rising in that game. Maybe your biggest difference maker, and you're still able to pound your in-state rival, even though it's Utah State.
Oh yeah, just
you gotta feel good about that. Gotta feel good about their chances.
Yeah, especially going into Oklahoma State, I believe this weekend.
Yep.
With Cam Rising coming back.
Yep.
Number 13, Oklahoma State played Tulsa. Ollie Gordon did nothing this game. Oklahoma State still beat Tulsa 45-10.
Well, I feel like that only gets brought up because you lost money on that.
Well, not just that. He was absolutely terrible. 20 carries for 42 yards. Like
that is hot ass.
Like,
did you think that Ollie Gordon was going to be the one to let you down and not Donovan Edwards?
No. Especially considering Ollie Gordon anytime touchdown was minus 500. Yeah. Pain and suffering.
I stay away from that.
Number 4. This was a lot of people thought this was going to be the game of the week on Friday night. Number 14, Kansas State beat number 20 Arizona 31-7.
Ooh.
This game could have been worse had sophomore quarterback Avery Johnson for Kansas State not when with 12 seconds left on the game clock in the second half, or the first half, I mean, in the second quarter, and he not scrambled in the backfield for 10 seconds, ran across the line of scrimmage, and then went out of bounds with 0 seconds on the game clock. And he just looked up at the clock, and all of a sudden just...
I cannot believe that.
He went...
Now, there were plenty of really bad situational decisions made all throughout football.
That was probably the worst.
This last week. When you're in a situation when you should know that you have very minimal seconds remaining to scramble around and just run out of bounds and then be like, oh shit.
Yeah,
oops.
Go surrender, Cobra. When you look up at the clock, you're just like...
When your quarterback is surrender Cobra, things have gone so terribly wrong.
What are we doing?
That's not good at all.
No, it didn't hurt.
One thing if it's the fans. When it's the quarterback, we're in a bad spot.
It didn't hurt K-State this game because they just outmatched Arizona. Arizona might have been a flash in the pan last year with Noah Fatifa and Tedero McMillan. They haven't looked great the past 2 weeks. Wow. Talking about a team that has not looked great the past few weeks, Oklahoma survived a slugfest of Tulane, and yes, Tulane's probably one of the best Group of 5 schools out there right now.
Yep.
Oklahoma, though, SEC, fresh into the SEC, got a match up with Tennessee this week, beating Tulane only 34-19. You're not liking the looks of that right now.
Yeah, so it was really funny because the whole talk was that when Texas joined the SEC, that was going to be what was bad, right? Like,
yep.
Because Texas was not back. Despite what Sam Ehlinger says, they were not back. Oklahoma, nobody really talked about that much. Texas is looking really, really good. Oklahoma is looking very, very, I won't say bad, but mid.
Yeah. I like Brent Venables as a head coach, or as a defensive coordinator, I should say. He's a phenomenal DC. Look at what he did at Clemson, and look where Clemson is now.
Well, and also think about just how bad Lincoln Riley just gutted
this program.
So it's not on Venables, I wouldn't say yet.
No.
It's not an indictment on him, but it's just a really bad situation for Oklahoma, really bad timing with everything playing out the way it did. They're just really not ready for big games.
No, not yet. Moving on, as we'll talk about Oklahoma, Tennessee in a little while. Number 16 LSU played South Carolina, survived in Columbia, 36-33. South Carolina was taking it to LSU and then just kind of fell apart.
Barely. And I don't even know how this game ended. I want to say South Carolina had the ball at the LSU 36.
Missed a field goal.
4 seconds to go. Okay.
Because you were getting ready to drive me out to my car.
Yeah.
Since I had parked out in Narnia.
Yes. But, wow. LSU is not good. We knew Brian Kelly was a terrible big game coach, and it is proving it just once again. You're seeing it in front of your eyes for the, I don't even know, 13th? Probably 15th straight season?
A loteth season.
A loteth.
Yeah, I don't have much to say on this. Like, you hit the nail on the head. Brian Kelly's not a good coach. LSU's not great. Moving on.
Go Cox.
Number 17, Michigan played host to Arkansas State. 28-18. I will let you take the floor, and then I will add in my little bit after.
Yeah, some garbage time touchdowns put this game close. In fact, I didn't even realize that the final score became close as close as it was.
Yeah, this game really wasn't as close as the score looks.
No, it really wasn't. I mean, they were dead in the water the entire time. It wasn't even a big threat to lose the game. However, Michigan, I think, has a good basis for a team without a quarterback. So if Alex Orji is the answer going forward, that's great. Which brings into question why he didn't start from the beginning. Big game this week against USC, that's for sure. But to figure out what Michigan is, if we're really that terrible, or if Davis Warren was really holding this team back that much. The starters on defense, some bad plays happened against them, but nothing really too costly. Not going to argue about that too much. Khalil Mullings should be RB1.
Donovan Edwards is so bad.
He really just should. Khalil is just when
better.
Khalil Mullings gets the ball, you think something good might happen as a Michigan fan. But when Donovan Edwards gets the ball, you're expecting bad. And then when something good happens, like a run of over 5 yards, you're like, wow, that's a real run. Mullings is just far and away better at this point. So I'm not gonna... Like, it's not even an offense problem necessarily. Like, Davis Warren threw 3 picks against Arkansas State.
To put him at 6 in the C on the season.
And they were all terrible.
Yep.
They were all fucking awful. Every single one got progressively worse.
Also, yes.
I'm not even, like, the defense, it's fine. Defense will be fine. Early season, hopefully, we got enough guys on that defense, enough returning starters, and enough returning players to be okay. That offense is just on a different level of bad with Davis Warren at quarterback. So you had to make a move of any kind. I don't care if Orji or Tuttle started, because we don't know much about either one. You had to change something. So the change has been made. We'll see what happens.
Let me read you a couple things, and I'm going to quote Weekend Jorts, because Davis Warren was my subject for Weekend Jorts.
It's pathetic.
And now let me start this off. Davis Warren's a great story. Phenomenal story. He walk on. He didn't have a season because of COVID. And then he also lost a good chunk of a football season because of leukemia. But you're looking at 2 touchdowns thrown this year to 6 interceptions. 3 of which were against...
On the defending national champions.
Yeah, on the defending national champion team. 3 of which were this past week against Arkansas State.
Right. He had his worst game against Arkansas State, arguably, because all of his interceptions were also his only incompletions.
Yeah, I didn't even mention that in Weekend Jorts.
It's bizarre because, like, their defense isn't on a level to keep up with even a bad Michigan offense, and yet you threw 3 of the worst picks
we could see all year.
This season we'll see. And even going back to the Texas game, the play that made me and Avery walk out was one of the worst interceptions we will see. He has 4 awful picks. Not tip balls, not contested balls, picks right to guys.
Yeah. And Michigan through the first 3 games under Davis Warren, and now before I say this, let's make no mistake, Michigan was not going to be a pass-first team.
Never are.
They weren't under Jim Harbaugh. They sure as fuck weren't going to be under Sharon Moore. However, ranked 121st out of 134. Like, they're more than just bad or not a pass-first team. They're one of the worst in the country bad.
Which is why Alex Orji made all the sense in the world anyway. Because he's a run-first quarterback.
Yeah. Like, Davis,
I guess you got to keep your opponent guessing. However,
whenever Alex Orji's in the game, you know what's happening.
Orji gets the ball and good things happen. But if he starts, then that at least gives some sort of question as to what's coming.
Yeah.
Because when you just put him in the game, you are saying we are running the ball with the quarterback. Stop that.
Yeah. But yeah, Davis Warren, and this is saying something considering DJ Uiagalelei is in the Power 4. Davis Warren might be the worst Power 4 quarterback.
At least in terms of team expectations, probably.
Yeah. Moving on, like, I don't have anything else to add. I'm sure you're kind of done.
Nope, I'm looking forward to this week and hoping things change.
Fair enough. And the yearly sacrifice to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish after a bad loss. Perdured themselves, losing 66-7. And
that might be my only note on this game. That might be our worst pick, possibly of all time.
Yeah. Because
we were both on Purdue.
Let me throw a couple things out.
We were on Purdue.
Heavy. Let me throw a couple things out there on this game, because Notre Dame did not play a phenomenal game.
That they covered by 45 points.
Like, Hudson Card, 112 yards, no passing touchdowns. Riley Leonard, Notre Dame quarterback. No, Hudson Card had a one passing touchdown. Riley Leonard, 112, no touchdowns. So no passing touchdowns for Notre Dame. They had a rushing touchdown. They had a 70-yard rushing touchdown, 48-yard rushing touchdown, a interception, and then a passing touchdown, the only passing touchdown of the game, from Cooper Flanagan. Yeah, who?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. They also had a 2-yard passing touchdown from Kevin Bauman. So Notre Dame threw 3 quarterbacks out there and just blew the doors off of Purdue. That's the only notes I have from this game. Woo. Like, Notre Dame, you're still not for real. Like, woo. Moving on to wrap up the week 3 recap. Nebraska.
You yourself. I'll be back in about 45 seconds.
No
notes on Nebraska, Northern Iowa.
I don't have notes either. Do you have anything on NFL, the first NFL games? Buffalo, Miami, New Orleans, Dallas. Those are our first 2.
R.I.P. Tua and R.I.P. Dallas being good.
Okay, well, while he's gone, I'll fill some air. To round out the Week 3 college football recap, number 23, Nebraska beat Northern Iowa 34-3. This is the first time Nebraska's been ranked in 4 years, 5 years. Long time. Moving on to the NFL recap. 1 second, let me pull up notes. Lost them. Okay. Alright. NFL recap. Week 2. The Buffalo Bills on Thursday night beat Miami 31-10. Went down to Hard Rock and just kind of bullied Miami. Tua got a concussion on just a boneheaded play in which he scrambling or running on 4th and 4 on the Buffalo 12, whatever. got to get the first down, dove head first into Damar Hamlin's chest plate. And that's how Tua got his concussion. And then nothing else really happened after that in this point. Moving on. Yeah, just Tua on IR. Brother Tua as a someone who had to medically retire from football. Retire, man. Call it. Hang it up. For your health, hang it up, brother. That's it. Moving on, New Orleans went to Jerry World, beat Dallas 44-19. Usually the shit bomb from Dallas comes week like 5 or 6. Oops.
That didn't happen.
That did not happen. They got it out of the way early. They got all notion of them possibly being good out of the way early on week 2. Yeah, that's all I got there. New Orleans.
Either that or New Orleans is just insane.
Yeah, New Orleans could be really good. I'm leaning towards more Dallas might just be ass. Like they always are. Now,
I mean, we do have to think about that Derek Carr has led, I believe, 15 straight scoring drives to start the year.
which is just absurd.
Which is just, for one, it's Derek Carr. 2, that stat is insane.
Yeah. Just fucking insane. Moving on. I do think Tampa, while Jordan's still trying to get ready. Or New Orleans, I mean, not Tampa. New Orleans is going to fall off at some point.
Yeah, they will. Like, we expected an offense. I feel like they're exceeding expectations, and there's no way they keep up what they're doing.
No.
So,
moving on, Tampa went to Detroit, beat the Lions 2016.
Very few notes about this game. I mean, we do come away 1-1 in a matchup of 2 teams we faced in the playoffs a year ago to start the season, which is fine. There is slightly less panic from me about the Lions. Now, the lack of execution in the red zone, because we moved the ball just fine, but in the red zone, it just stalled, couldn't pound it in, and Dan Campbell, surprisingly enough, kicked a few field goals. But the big killer in this game was the end of the first half, and Dan Campbell said it's on him. We took a penalty with zeros on the clock, or, well, not with zeros on the clock, but tail end of the first half. Too many men on the field because we had about 15 to 17 guys.
Oh, hell yeah.
On the
I missed
field.
that.
Because I don't know who made the call. Dan's saying it's on him. But the offense was on the field, and then a good chunk of the field goal unit was on the field. There was all sorts of confusion because somebody made the call to spike it, somebody made the call to clock it, or rather, kick a field goal. So there was some confusion, and we ended the first half on a really nice drive with no points. So, and then at the end of the game, it's just completely different if you're in that same situation, because Detroit has to go for it on 4th down, they don't get it. If you get that field goal at the end of the first half, then you kick a field goal to win the game. It was just a complete mess. So a very winnable game that we do lose, but I think there's a little bit of leeway there. Got Arizona this upcoming week, and they look really good last week. So
yes, they did. I have a couple notes here, mostly on the defensive side. I mean, yeah, offensively, they once they got to the red zone, just looked not good. On the defensive side, they did some very good scheme at the beginning of the game that I really liked, and I explained it on my recap show earlier this morning for people.
Holy fucking Aiden Hutchinson, man.
4.5 sacks because they took one away, half one away. They set Aiden Hutchinson out on a wide 9 technique. Now, for those of you who are listening who might not be as versed in football as I am, because it didn't play as far as I did. Tappins. A wide 9 is, so you got your tackle. Your tackle is a 4. Because your center, defensively, we have you number it. Center is 0, head up on the center is 0, head up on guard 2. Head up on tackle is 4. Then your tight end would be 6. You get that 8/9 as if there's a extra lineman on that side of the field. That's where you get your 8. A 9 is on the outside shoulder of that. What would be that extra lineman / tight end? Almost as far out on the defensive line as you can get if there was an offensive lineman there. If you got someone who has the speed to do it, and the Lions do an Aiden Hutchinson, and you don't have a tight end over on that side of the field, if he's lining up on the weak side of the field in that wide 9, and you don't put a running back over there either just to get in his way, it is really hard for a lot of tackles, even in the NFL, to get out there and make that play.
I will say it was really bizarre to see even like the NFL and all sorts of other social accounts be like, oh my God, Aiden Hutchinson has 5 sacks. The second sack was the one where the half sack came in.
Yes.
And we watched it live.
Yes.
I was like, that's a half sack.
Yeah, I do. I was wondering which one.
Really funny.
I didn't know which one they had taken away.
Well, it's got to be that one. Everything else was solo.
I would assume so. So yeah, I really like
unless they want to take away the trip up of Baker Mayfield for whatever reason because somebody else fell on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I really like that they did that. Start the game early defensively. Scheme to get your best pass rusher the best chance he can to get to the quarterback. Going away from that in the second half, I don't really know how I feel. Because, I mean...
Yeah, and even still, he had, I believe, 2 sacks in the second half.
He did.
He was in on at least 2.
Yeah. Especially going that route at the on Tampa's final drive. When at some points they were even also dropping 8 back, if I remember correctly. Like you're only rushing 3, and you gotta figure something out there. Otherwise, like defensively, it was a good scheme. It's just a couple little dumb mistakes, and Lions win this game. Moving on.
Go ahead. Detroit's good enough. Tampa's good enough to the point that whoever makes the most mistakes
is going to lose
the game.
Yeah, and that is
Detroit made more mistakes.
Yeah, and
no doubt about it.
I've talked to a couple people. Like Tampa's a good team. Like they're a pretty good team.
And they get so underrated because people think about how bad, I guess, the Baker Mayfield opinion was.
Yeah.
That it's just like, oh, it's just Baker. Baker's balling.
Baker is
like he is really playing well, and that team is still filled with pieces from their we gotta win a Super Bowl run.
Yeah. And they got
it's a good team.
Yeah, they got dudes all across that team. So it's not a bad team to lose to.
They got a top 3 offensive linemen in the league in Wirfs.
Yep.
They've got 2 stud receivers. They've got a quarterback who's severely underrated. They're a really good team and a really good defense.
And a very good running. Rashad White's a good running back. And that defensive line, especially, with like they're good. They're all good, and people like they just look at Tampa and it has some.
We didn't even mention Vita Vea.
Yeah, like
one of the best DTs in the league.
You look at that. You look at this Tampa team, and people, for whatever reason, people are just like, it's Tampa, and
so there was a little bit of panic in Lions fans this week. I'm hoping that we can put that aside this Sunday.
Like I said, you're losing to a really good team.
Yep.
Moving on.
Quality losses against a quality opponent are fine with me.
Yep. Moving on. Green Bay beat Indianapolis 16-10. Anthony Richardson did not look great. Malik Willis, on the other hand, looked solid.
Much better than expected.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, though, 150 plus
As
yards.
a dude.
We knew that.
I mean, we knew that. Malik Willis, like I said, he looked solid, which right now is all you need. You don't need him to go light the world on fire. You never need backups to go just do what Nick Foles did in that Eagles playoff run. So many people, when they, for whatever reason, it seems like so many people anymore, ever since that, expect either backups to go just light the world on fire and have this phenomenal, unprecedented, impossible run like what Nick Foles had, or they expect them to just absolutely blow chunks. When all you need is what Green Bay got out of Malik Willis. Just be solid.
Good enough.
Be good enough. And that's what happened. Green Bay won 16-10. Moving on to the team that let go of Malik Willis, and they're probably regretting that. The Tennessee Titans lost to the New York Jets 24-17. Really, the only notes, there's two. The youngest player in the NFL, Braylon Allen, former Wisconsin running back, scored 2 touchdowns, one of which was the game winner. And the other note, Will Levis threw an interception so bad that head coach Brian Callahan just looked at him and, what the fuck are you doing?
Second week in a row. That's all I got.
Yeah, Will Levis is ass. And one of the shockers of the week, Minnesota beat San Francisco 23-17. There is one problem with this. They lost Justin Jefferson to an injury. Don't know how long, though, because I don't know if we've heard.
Yeah, I don't know. Realistically, this game could have been way worse. There was a 14-point swing in this game where Minnesota turned the ball over on their goal line or on the opposing goal line, and then San Francisco marched down the field, scored a touchdown. Whoa. I did not expect this game at all.
I did not either. In fact, I had a bet with our coworker Avery that San Francisco was going to roll.
Yes, and he has not forgotten about it.
That's a good thing. I'll see him tomorrow. As long as he shows up on time.
After today, I'm not so sure.
If not, I'll see him on Friday or Saturday. He'll get his money regardless. Yeah, really the only thing, if I was a Vikings fan, I'd be worried about is that you started to try and throw this game.
A little bit, but
San Francisco, if I was a 49ers fan, I wouldn't be too worried because you still got a great team.
Great teams win, great teams cover.
I guess, yeah.
Even when you're the dog?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Like San Francisco's still a solid team. I think they'll be fine. Moving on to a who cares game. Seattle beat New England 23-10 or 23-20 in overtime. Yep, as Jordan, since he didn't verbalize it, I'll say it. Woo.
Did not watch a second of this game.
Jacoby Brissett's looking like what you would expect out of Jacoby Brissett, not what he was week 1.
Yep.
In a 7 field goal performance from Austin Seibert, the Washington Commanders beat...
Who was just signed, by the way.
Yep. The Washington...
They put enough confidence into a kicker they just signed to the roster to kick 7.
He made all 7 of them to beat the New York Football Giants 21-18. You know, I have one note on this game. I said the Patriots could be the worst team in the NFL. Giants
and Panthers are in that running.
Yeah. Like, the Giants haven't scored a touchdown yet. Or no, they did score a touchdown. They scored 2 this week. Like, the Giants, like, they pulled the Falcons and lost to a team that only field goals. Like, the Giants are ass.
They are unreal.
Moving on to the team.
Former Lion, Austin Seibert, by the way.
Yeah. Moving on to a team that has not scored a touchdown yet. The LA Chargers, who have scored many, beat the Carolina Panthers 26-3. The Panthers are ass. They have not scored a touchdown yet. I got ahead of myself. We're gonna look at this in a few months. Look back at our preview, and we're gonna be wrong about Carolina. I think.
Oh yeah,
this team is terrible.
Unless Andy Dalton is the answer, which is a crazy sentence to say.
Yeah, Dave Canales can't work.
Carolina's cooked. Sell the team, relocate the team, do everything.
Yeah.
That organization is just... It's crazy to think about how they were in the Super Bowl, I believe 10 years ago or less.
About a decade ago, maybe less.
Super Bowl 50. And yet, here we are. This is how far this team has fallen. And David Tepper, although he is apparently not behind the benching of Bryce Young, is the current worst owner in the NFL.
Let's see. Last Super Bowl appearance. Ag. 2015. Yeah. Like,
9 years.
9 years.
This team has fallen that far in 9 years.
Luke, out. No, not under my desk. Fine. You want to be right there? No. Pause. We're having issues with dog. Hey, out. Out. Doggy climbed under my desk. Yeah, this team's bad. Moving on. The Chargers are good. That's it. Chargers could be pretty good.
Yes.
Moving on, the Cleveland Browns beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 18-13. Both teams are ass.
Jags are
More
looking
ass.
like mega ass. Cleveland is looking like slight ass.
Yeah. That's all I got there. I agree. The Las Vegas Raiders, and another shocker, beat Baltimore 26-23. At least Derrick Henry carried the ball more than 10 times.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did not believe this scoreline when I saw this game. Watch the tail end. Oh, God.
Like I said, at least...
You can't lose to the Raiders.
No.
However, the Raiders did have some mega performances in this game.
Yes, they did. But yeah, you can't lose to the Raiders.
I still believe in the Ravens. I really do.
Like I said, John Harbaugh, who made a comment, well, we didn't sign Derrick Henry to give him the ball 20, 25, 30 times a game. Then why'd you sign him, first off?
Who are they going to hand the ball off to?
Yeah, at least got more than 10 carries this week. Like, shit. In a game I didn't see, moving on, into a game I didn't see coming, the Arizona Cardinals beat the Los Angeles Rams 41-10.
Beat down, and that's all I have.
We said on this show last week, I don't know what Vegas saw in this game because the Cardinals were favored by 3.5, I think.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, I said Vegas was wrong and dumb. Turns out I'm wrong and dumb.
We have those.
Yep. In a shitfest game, Pittsburgh beat Denver 13-6. Justin Fields is 2-0. Bo Nix doesn't look very good.
So I believe Pittsburgh has 1 touchdown through 2 weeks.
Yep.
And they're 2-0.
They're 2-0.
They're 2-0. Wow. Bo Nix. Favorite channel of mine when it comes to the NFL is That's Good Sports, who is a Denver Broncos fan.
Okay.
He described Bo Nix as a less exciting Russell Wilson.
I can't
Russell
be good.
Wilson, but bland.
That can't be good.
It's not good at
Because
all.
Russell Wilson, in his time for the Broncos, was awful, was balls.
Yeah. Yeah, outside of the one game that he balled out, seemingly, that only happened to be the time that the Dolphins scored like 72.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bo Nix, and I'm very happy to be right so far about Bo Nix. Neither one of us were high on Bo. So the fact that he is terrible when he did what he did last year in college and for whatever reason got us drafted as high as he did, check down merchant that is being asked to not throw checkdowns.
Yeah, because you can't do it in the NFL.
But you can do it, but it's not the same, but you can do it.
Yeah. This dude is terrible. It just bad. Moving on.
Bad.
The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Bengals 26-25. I've said my piece about it. All I really got, and we'll talk about it with Houston, Chicago. The refs were terrible. I don't get why the league goes out of their way to say that they're going to enforce hip drop tackles and then not let the refs throw flags for it. Jamar Chase needed to get that unsportsmanlike conduct that he did in that game. He wouldn't have got it had the ref A had control of that game, or B, they call hip drop tackles. When you got so many players in the NFL who are saying, like, why are we enforcing that? Why do you go out of your way to enforce or to say you're going to enforce this and then tell refs not to throw flags on it? You're going to do it after the fact? It's beyond me. The pass interference at the end of the game, I don't like, solely because you only called one pass interference in the entire 59 minutes before that. It's just shown that you can't, like with the Ravens last week, you can't be in a one-score game with the Chiefs at the end of the game because odds are there's going to be a call, and you had said it. You may have said it on your stream. How many times have we seen in Patrick Mahomes' career since 2018, since he became the full-time starter, has there been a headline, Kansas City wins on controversial call?
Very many times, but I will say, despite the fact that I didn't watch any bit of this game, I did, in fact, go out of my way to see the play that the call was made on. Do I like the call without the context of it not being called the rest of the game? Throw that aside. Do I like the single pass interference call? I agree with it. But if you're not going to call it the rest of the game, then there's the problem.
Yeah, there was two pass interferences called the entire game. One on Jamar, or one, well, technically, if you want, there's two defensive pass interferences, because there was an offensive pass interference called on the Bengals, and I will almost always agree with offensive pass interference, especially when they got called on it for a pick play. Or
I should have seen my MAC title game in College Football 25.
Or as Jim Nantz told Tony Romo, they got a memo saying you can't call them pick routes anymore, they're rub routes now. Because apparently
whatever you call them.
they're illegal. Apparently the NFL and college don't like it. Actually, it may have been in the Colorado State game. I heard that line that leagues don't like it when you call them, or networks don't like it when you call them pick routes, because that implies that they're illegal. So you gotta call them a rub route. It's whatever you call
pick routes, whatever you call them.
It's still illegal. It's still offensive pass interference. So there was the one OPI called on the Bengals, and I agreed with it. The defensive pass interference on Trent McDuffie, and so many Chiefs fans, this wasn't defensive pass interference. It was solely because Trent McDuffie never turned to locate the ball. He just grabbed on to Jamar Chase's back plate, or the back of his jersey, and just...
One of the biggest biggest telltale signs of DPI.
Yeah, you're not looking
When
for.
you don't turn, when you don't have a sight on the ball.
Yeah, Trent McDuffie just grabbed the back jersey area around the back plate of Jamar Chase and just held on to him, and then they both fell to the ground, and the falling to the ground is incidental contact. Like, you got Chiefs fans, oh, that should be OPI because Trent McDuffie got drugged to the ground. It's like, that's incidental contact, and I will agree with that. That you don't throw the flag for both of them ending on the ground. You throw the flag because McDuffie's not looking for the ball.
Yeah. And when I say I like the penalty flag that did get called in the crucial spot, is it a questionable one? Yes, because it's inconsistently called.
Yes.
Because are both players going for the ball? Yes.
Yes.
Was I don't remember the name of the defender, whoever it was.
He was
were they early? Yes. So it's in the hands of the officials at that point. And we all know what happens when that happens. Especially when number 15 in red and yellow and white's on the field.
Here's what my biggest issue is, and so many Bengals fans have this issue too. How many times do you see something like that happen on a Hail Mary? And I've heard all week.
None. Mm-mm.
Yeah. How many times do you see that exact play happen? Never. Yeah. Bullshit.
Especially the call. No.
Yeah, you never see the call. But you have all these Chiefs. It's not a Hail Mary. Yeah, the NFL doesn't define what a Hail Mary is.
No.
That was a jump ball, a 50-50 jump ball where both players were.
This ain't Madden.
Yeah.
Not every play is defined by Hail Mary.
Yeah. That was a 50-50 4th and 17. Patrick Mahomes running for his life arm punt. There could have been an offsetting penalty on a hold on Trey Hendrickson because you can call holding on every play. This one was egregious, and you know what? They didn't call it. It is what it is. They didn't call holding a lot. So I'm not upset that they didn't throw a flag on that. It's the fact that you throw a DPI on a 50-50 jump ball when you don't call it all game. And then it also brings up that DPI in the NFL is broken. It shouldn't be a spot foul.
No, college does it right, where it's a 15-yard penalty. Like we're talking about the range of NFL quarterbacks' arms, essentially, when we're talking about how big a DPI penalty can be in the NFL.
And it was a 40-yard penalty almost.
Which is just absurd.
Yeah, it was a 40.
There's nothing that should be a 40-yard penalty.
Yeah, DPI.
Especially in that, because, like, and a good chunk of DPI, there's no guarantee they catch the ball, even if it's played legal.
Yeah. Like, that was a 40, it may have actually been over a 40-yard penalty that...
We're doing everything to help out the offense. Do something to help out the defense and make it so DPI is a 15-yard foul.
Yeah. Like,
That'll never happen.
No,
That'll never happen. We want points in the NFL, goddammit.
Other than that, like, yes, the Bengals should have scored more points. Yeah. I'm not really going to harp on the fact that like there's some people who are harping on the fact that Patrick Mahomes had his league leading since he made his full-time starting debut back in 2018. 17th interception overturned by a penalty. Yes, it happened. He had an interception overturned by a penalty. Guess what? 2 plays later, he threw an interception. That was phenomenal play by Cam Taylor-Britt because apparently he was right. Xavier. What?
You play as wild and loose as Mahomes does, you're gonna throw picks.
Yeah.
Just is how it is.
Patrick Mahomes didn't look good. Travis Kelce didn't look good. The Chiefs didn't look good. Bengals get one more field goal. They win the game. Which flips.
Still like the Bengals.
I do
Still
too.
Believe in the Bengals.
Which just flips me to this. This is the 3rd year in a row the Bengals have gone 0-2 to start the season. At some point, and it may sound like I absolutely harp on Zach Taylor and the coaching staff, and I don't like them. At some point, if you're doing this 3 years in a row, it's not just the players that are the problem.
No.
That's all I got. Moving on to Sunday night. Houston beat Chicago 19-13. This game wasn't very good. Chicago's defense is good. Caleb Williams is not. Brings me to one thing I do want to say. Through 2 weeks, Drake May is tied for passing touchdowns amongst rookies. Drake May has not touched the field.
Yeah, so the 3 quarterbacks that are starting and the one that isn't, yes, do indeed have the same amount of touchdowns.
Yeah.
It is
Those J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix Jr.
Yes. Yes, but oh boy. It's really rough. It is really, really rough for the rookie QBs.
Like this one,
Caleb Williams is...
At some point, when does Caleb Williams realize he's not in the Pac-12? He got punished by it by like teams like Utah that have NFL-ready defenders last year, where he just scrambles for 7-8 seconds and then just yeets one into triple coverage, and it got intercepted in this game. How long till he realizes he's not in the Pac-12? He's not Pac-12 after dark anymore.
I have no idea, and I don't know. I didn't believe in him in the beginning, but oh boy,
It's getting a lot harder.
I was fully prepared to eat those words when he lit the world on fire. I really was, but it has gone the way it's gone. And Chicago is in games because their defense is good. They drafted defense heavy for the last couple years, and their defense is really, really solid. Their offense, despite the pieces that they added, and despite the injuries that they have suffered on offense, they ain't close.
No.
Like, Keenan Allen ain't fixing you.
No. And it's almost, and I said this throughout the NFL season, the college season, the NFL season, and leading up to the draft last year. On draft night when we had our watch party, I said it. Justin Fields was not the problem in Chicago.
No.
And wouldn't you know it, Justin Fields ain't the problem in Chicago. Not saying Justin Fields is lighting the world.
What is the problem in Chicago?
What?
Chicago is the problem in Chicago.
I'll say, yeah, Discord cut out for just
the Bears.
Just a half second, so I didn't catch that. You're right. Like, obviously, Justin Fields isn't lighting the world on fire in Pittsburgh. We're only 1 touchdown through 2 games.
1 touchdown, let's go!
But
your kicker is outscoring your quarterback!
Like, obviously, he's not lighting the world on fire in Pittsburgh, but he wasn't the problem in Chicago. That offense...
But he also wasn't supposed to be the starter.
Oh, yeah, no, he wasn't supposed to be the starter.
Wilson has a mysterious injury and is getting game balls!
Yeah.
Game balls!
Some might say that is balls.
Ugh.
Yeah. Chicago's offense is putrid. Moving on to Monday night, Atlanta beat Philadelphia 22-21. Maybe Kirk Cousins is a primetime player now.
No. That game was over if Saquon Barkley, who makes that play time and time again, and neither team played good.
No, this was bad.
Neither team was good at all. This was a terrible primetime game. Saquon Barkley is a very, very good, not only running back, but good receiving back.
Yes.
He is so capable, and yet on a play that he so routinely makes, he doesn't make, and it flips the whole game.
First time out of
People question Sirianni. People are questioning whether Nick Sirianni is a dick, actually, because of his post-game whatever.
I didn't
Comes
hear what
down
he
to
said
the play.
post-game, but yeah.
People are questioning whether Nick Sirianni is an egotistic asshole because of pregame, apparently.
Nice.
But, no, I am fully on, like, you were a play away and a good call away
Yeah, that was a good play.
from beating Atlanta.
And
And
just-
just lack of execution by one of the best players in the league, and a player who already paid dividends for you going out to get him in week 1, doing what he did.
Yeah.
I'd like the call to go to him. It costs you a game because of the drop, but that's a great call to
Yeah.
try and put the ball in the hands of your best player with the game on the line, and it didn't work.
Yeah, you put the ball in the hands of your best 2 players, and
I mean, your best player, especially because no AJ Brown.
yeah, no
Who are
AJ
you gonna
Brown.
go to?
It's like, okay,
Devontae Smith had a nice game, but still.
yeah, your best 2 players and on the team, and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, like, you go to them, and he did, and it was a good call, and just bad execution.
It's an uncontested drop that you can't have happen
and it's
in that spot, no less.
very uncontested that you can't have happen. Very uncharacteristic. I'm not worried about Philly. I still have questions about Atlanta. Like,
Oh yeah.
defensively, they're good. I don't know about their offense.
My biggest problem with this game is that Kirk Cousins won a primetime game.
Right. They still hate Kyle Pitts in Atlanta. I don't really know if they really like Bijan down in Atlanta.
Not really.
Yeah. Let's move on to the picks.
All right.
I, in the picks, am
Yes, go ahead.
20 and 25. Is that correct?
I believe so. I think I sent you the right numbers.
Okay. I am 20 and 25. Jordan is 21 and 24. I can look at the standings while you're looking just to make sure. Yes, those are correct.
All right.
We're good. Yeah. We are on. And now, Jordan, I punt it to you for Das pick.
It is time for Das pick.
Let me make sure I'm on. Okay, I am on the right scene.
We start off. I don't think I am. Actually. Hold on. Please hold.
Ooh.
There we go. It is time for the picks. 3-0. Illinois. Yes, you heard me right. 3-0 Illinois takes on number 22 Nebraska. Illinois ranked 24. I didn't mention that. We have a matchup of undefeated Big Ten teams at the start of Big Ten play. Nebraska -8.5.
As I said in the college football recap, that was the first time last week was the first time Nebraska was ranked in 5 years, something like that. Been a while. Maybe even 6. Give me Nebraska here. They're better than Illinois.
Nebraska goes down. I am saying that. Nebraska is a mainly one-trick pony when it comes to Dylan Raiola.
That is fair.
But something that has not been said is that Altmaier, the quarterback of Illinois, has actually been playing fairly well. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Illinois here, especially to cover 8.5. I am fully on that. We move into the Saturday slate, noon on Fox. The third ranked, Ohio State University, -35.5, taking on the Marshall Thundering Herd.
IO. Give me the Buckeyes. They've looked really good. They've covered both their games so far, and Marshall's not. Poor Gus Johnson gets to call the murder of the Marshall Thundering Herd at noon.
Why is this big noon?
Don't ask me.
Tennessee managed to cover 48.5 last week against Kent State. Ohio State can cover 39.5 against Marshall. Give me the Buckeyes. Saturday at 3:30, we have one noon game in the picks.
Yes, we do.
Whoa! Saturday 3:30, NBC and Peacock, the 0-2 Miami of Ohio Redhawks traveled to Touchdown Jesus to take on Notre Dame, Fighting Irish minus 27.5.
Usually there's about 2 sacrifices that the Irish alter a year after they get a bad loss. This will be the second. Give me Notre Dame.
After what they did to Purdue last week, I can't. And that's why I put this game in the picks. Because it's another MAC school. I can't. I just can't. Give me Notre Dame. Saturday, 3:30 on Big Ten Network, the 0-3 Kent State, whatever the fuck they are, plus 49.5.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, they were plus 48.5 last week. They're plus 49.5 this week. Number 10, Penn State. Penn State has 63% of the people behind them to cover a big number.
Some people say I'm a man of the people. In this case, they are right. I am only picking Penn State here because Kent State gave up 71 last week.
Yes,
scored
they did.
0.
Penn State hasn't looked super great. I'm doing it back-to-back weeks. Give me Kent State. Let's go.
Is Kent State just going to be in the picks all year until they get one right for you?
No. if they don't win, if they don't cover this game, not win. That's not a question.
No.
If they don't cover this game, they might not ever see the picks again.
Not just this year.
Yes. Saturday, 3:30, CBS, number 11, USC at 2-0, travels to the Big House to take on the 18th ranked Michigan Wolverines, USC minus 5.5.
USC coming off a bye week. Give me the Trojans here. Early bye. The Big Ten has 2 of them this year. Give me the Trojans here. This number is just too small. I think Michigan can be able to put up a fight early, especially with Alex Orji at quarterback. I think they're just going to get overwhelmed. Watch me be wrong, and this will be one of those games where Lincoln Riley has explosive diarrhea all over the field.
USC should win. However, I am putting my belief in Alex Orji because somebody's got to be able to do something for this team.
Fair.
Give me Michigan. I'm even getting points to do so.
Fair.
Saturday, 7 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, the shit fest of the week.
Fuck, this game is going to be bad. I'm glad I had...
1-2. Continue.
I'm glad I had picked a different game to be a sidecast this week, because otherwise it somehow would have been this one. Probably.
1-2, FAU plus 2.5 facing 1-2, FBS Independent UConn. And the people are on the Road Owls.
If you have $7.68,
that's too much. Ticket prices have gone up so much, man. We're talking shitfest at $7.
I'm not done. And you are in the East Hartford, Connecticut area. Save your $7.68. Buy a sandwich. I don't know what you could buy for $7.68 in East Hartford, but don't go to this game. Give me FAU.
$1 for every turnover in this game. With that being said, give me UConn.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Good Lord. Saturday, 7 o'clock, ESPN, the number 8th ranked Miami Hurricanes at 3-0 take on USF. USF plus 17.5.
I don't know how this spread is as low as it is. Give me Miami here. Like, yeah.
I have no idea because I haven't looked at just rankings in quite some time. USF 96th in passing yards, 79th in points, 119th in passing yards. Or wait. 119th in passing yards on offense, 96th in passing yards allowed on defense. What about that tells me they're going to cover 17 and a half against a top 10 team? Nothing. Miami.
Yep.
7 p.m. ESPN Plus. The second shitfest of the week. 1 and 2 New Mexico State. Plus 16 and a half taking on Sam Houston State. And since you are a man of the people, 80% of the people are on Sam Houston State. When have I ever said that sentence?
Some people say I'm a man of the people. In this case, they're right again. Give me Sam Houston State. And let me tell you why. And you get to have my dog looking at you guys while I tell you why. They are 130th in total yards at 227 a game. They're 132nd, meaning there's only two teams worse than them in passing yards a game at 93. New Mexico State is. New Mexico State on offense is averaging 93 passing yards. They're one of the handful of teams worse than Michigan this year in passing.
I really don't know what those 20% of the people are seeing.
I don't either.
I don't understand.
Like, they're 120th in total yards allowed defensively, New Mexico State is, giving up 455.
Watch them win.
Give me Sam
Watch 'em
Houston
win.
State.
Easy. 7 p.m. Fox Sports 1. The 2-1 Northwestern Wildcats plus 9.5 taking on the Washington Huskies in a battle of the purple.
I have not watched the Washington football game this year, but I have watched a Northwestern football game. Give me Washington.
I don't really have a reason, but I am taking the Northwestern Wildcats.
Okay.
It's just, it feels like a weird number for two teams that are probably not going to be very good. Northwestern's probably going to lose by 30, but I'm taking the points.
Fair enough.
7:30 ABC, Tennessee at number 6 in the country, minus 7.5, taking on number 15, Oklahoma.
This game's my sidecast. I'm glad this game got flexed to 7:30, because otherwise I would have been doing sidecasts of 4 or 5 shitty games in a row.
I mean, it might be shitty.
This game could be shitty for a different reason. Give me Tennessee by more than 7.5.
Give me Tennessee by 14.
I'd honestly probably take Tennessee at 21, dude.
I don't know about 21. 20-point games could happen. And I mean, Oklahoma's not hot ass.
No.
But they're not Tennessee right now. So give me the Vols. Where's Tiny when we need him? Go Vols. Saturday, 7:30 NBC, 2-1 Iowa, minus 2.5 on the road, taking on PJ Fleck and the Golden Gophers.
Big Ten Saturday night.
Oh, yay.
This game is going to be
Saturday night.
Big Ten Saturday night. This game's going to be ass. Iowa's going to win by more than 2.5. Well, they're going to win by more than 3. This game's going to be fucking terrible. Both of these teams are ass. Give me the Hawkeyes, though.
I don't trust either offense in this game, but I don't trust the Iowa offense historically. Give me Minnesota on this, even though I'm not getting much. Iowa hasn't scored points against anyone worth a damn.
That's true.
So give me the Golden Gophers. Saturday, 8 p.m. on the ACC network.
How did this game?
3-0! 3-0! Michigan State Spartans plus 6.5 taking on Boston College in their red bandana game.
I'm high on Boston College. Always have been this year. I have been all year, I should say. Shouldn't say I'm always high on them. I'm high on them this year. Give me BC here, especially at home. How did this get relegated to the ACC network?
I don't know.
Give me BC. This is going to be the start of a small losing streak for the Spartans.
Indeed. Boston College, I'm very high on. Michigan State, Aiden Childs has not faced anyone worth a fuck, really, so far. So we'll get to see just how good Michigan State is and hopefully calm down Gavin a little bit. Saturday, 8 p.m. ESPN Plus. I'm on Boston College, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
2-0. University of Louisiana Monroe and General Booty are on the road to face the number one team in the country, the Texas Longhorns. Texas minus 44.5. And if I can scroll back far enough, yes, here is this from Bleacher Report an hour ago. UL Monroe doesn't fear Arch Manning.
I don't think it matters. There's too many good people on that Texas team. Give me the Longhorns. They're a buzzsaw right now.
They pounded Michigan by damn near this number. It's General Booty and UL Monroe. Texas. Without question. Saturday, 8 p.m. on Fox. Baylor plus 1.5. Taking on Coach Prime. Shedeur Sanders. Shiloh Sanders. Travis Hunter.
No Shiloh.
Coach Prime, did I say that?
No Shiloh.
What happened to him?
He broke his arm against Nebraska, I think.
Darn.
Yeah, so we're missing the better Sanders kid. But oh well. It doesn't matter. And yes, I called a Colorado game 2 years in a row now, this past weekend.
Unbelievable.
Colorado looked good. Yes, Colorado State's not good. Baylor's not good. This is going to be one of those wins for Colorado where they're going to beat up on a school that isn't good. And people are going to be like, oh my God, this Colorado team could be really good. That's what's going to happen. Give me the Buffaloes.
Give me Baylor.
Okay.
It might be the fact that I hate this Colorado team so much. And I don't even hate the team. I hate two people involved in it. I don't like Shedeur. I don't like Coach Prime. They're so unlikable. And it's so unbelievable because I like Deion generally. But this whole nonsense that is Colorado, I can't get behind.
That's fair.
Give me Baylor. Saturday, 10:30 p.m., we have what might be the first time ever Big 12 After Dark.
Yeah.
The 3-0 K-State, number 13 in the country, minus 7.5, taking on the Mormons in BYU.
Give me K-State.
It's not even a question.
Like,
Give me K-State.
When I that was the
regardless of the fact that their quarterback did what he did last week.
Yeah. That
on
was
K-State.
K-State, when I saw that was the other than Ohio State this year, other than Ohio State and Tennessee, that was the quickest I had clicked on one. When I saw K-State Baylor, I just K-State right away. Let's move to the NFL picks.
So easy. To the NFL picks, as I have conflicting music.
That's
outstanding.
Oof. I am 16-16 in NFL picks. Jordan is 15 and 17. Dog, shush. We'll be done in a moment.
Rough start. We start off with Thursday night football. For once, we're not live on a Thursday. The Patriots plus 6.5 traveling to the New York Football Jets. The people are evenly split on Jets minus 6.5.
Give me the Jets here. Like, they're just better than the Patriots.
They are. Little iffy to start the season, but the Patriots are going to settle into their ass roll. Sunday, 1 o'clock, the New York Football Giants plus 6.5, taking on the Cleveland Browns, who might also be ass.
Cleveland Browns might be ass, but they are less ass than the mega ass that is the New York Giants. Give me the Browns.
I'm on the Browns. I feel like this game could get dicey. For whatever reason, I'm feeling the Giants leading at some point in this game. Not even just first possession. I'm feeling like they're going to play decent at the start, but the Browns are going to cover at the end. You're not even giving me a touchdown to take the Giants. Give me the Browns. The Chicago Bears at 1-1 take on the Indianapolis Colts, who are 0-2. Essentially a pick'em. Colts minus 1.5.
The Colts are only 0-2 because they played two good teams.
Yes.
Give me the Colts here. The Bears are not good. That offense is bad. The defense will keep this game close, but they're not going to win. Like, this is, like you said, essentially a pick'em at 1.5. Give me the Colts.
I'm on the Colts without a question. The Bears defense has shown me everything. The Bears offense has shown me nothing.
What's less than nothing?
200 yards in 2 games from Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Houston Texans, 2-0, minus 2.5, taking on the also 2-0 Minnesota Vikings. Will you do it to the Vikings again?
Yeah, give me the Texans.
I will also do it to the Vikings again. I am on Houston. I don't really know what happened last week, but there's just no way that the Sam Darnold-led Vikings are good. Give me the Texans. I believe in C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, and that defense.
The rug's going to get pulled out eventually.
100%. Eagles plus 1.5. Heading to the Caesars Superdome to take on the New Orleans Saints.
This is dumb. I don't know what Vegas sees here. The Saints are favorites.
Because the Saints have scored points.
They have.
And a lot of them.
We're, like I said, like we said in the NFL recap, we are one play away from the Eagles being 2-0. Again, usually you get 3 points if you're the home team.
Generally.
Vegas would give you that. Meaning that if the Eagles were at home, they'd be favored. And, well, give me the Eagles either way, even though they're in the Superdome.
I am going to take a shot and take the Saints. That offense has not been stopped all year.
Literally.
Give me New Orleans. 1 o'clock CBS, the Los Angeles Chargers plus 1.5 taking on the Steelers, who have 1 offensive touchdown.
A point for every touchdown the Steelers have scored?
I guess.
I don't know. I'm a man of the people on this one. The Charger, 55% of the people are on the Chargers. It's just like you said, the Steelers have only scored 1 offensive touchdown. The Chargers have looked pretty good under Jim Harbaugh. J.K. Dobbins has looked really good. Give me the Chargers here. This is just a weird spread.
I'm on L.A. Jim Harbaugh is happening. They are running the ball, and J.K. Dobbins is turning into the monster that he should have always been. Chargers, easy. You can give me 6.5. I'd take it.
You're getting 6.5 in this next one.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't know if I'm taking that. 1 o'clock on Fox, the 0-2 Denver Broncos are that +6.5, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the people are on the Bucs, 86%.
People are on the Bucks. I'm on the Bucks. Give me Tampa. Denver has looked lifeless.
You have got a very inexperienced, potentially bad quarterback taking on a very good Tampa defense. No question, Tampa Bay. The Green Bay Packers are +2.5, taking on Will Levis and the 0-2 Tennessee Titans.
What does Vegas see here? Because I don't see it. Malik Willis looks serviceable. Josh Jacobs is that dude for Green Bay. Will Levis is not that dude for the Titans. And Malik Willis revenge game, give me the Packers. You could give me 6.5 here.
In games where we ask, what does Vegas see? We have a very low record.
We do. I mean, I'll admit it.
I am taking the Titans for that reason.
Okay? I mean, that is fair.
Malik Willis looked fine in his true Packers debut.
Yep.
But buoyed heavily by a phenomenal run game. Give me the Titans. I can't believe I'm doing it. The 0-2 Carolina Panthers +5.5 as they take on the Raiders in Vegas as we start the 4 o'clock slate.
I'm not, and I'm going to preface this with, I've not really been super high on Bryce Young the past 2 years. He's just not been good.
You watched Andy Dalton for a long time.
I have. The quarterback, just like it was in Chicago, Bryce Young is not the entire problem here in Carolina. Andy Dalton's not going to solve anything. The Panthers might be the worst team in the NFL. It's going to either be them or the Giants, and they have a meet. The Giants and them have a meeting in fucking Berlin in a few weeks. Those poor people of Germany are still having to.
What a great representation of this sport.
Yeah, the Germans are still having to pay for World War II by getting.
The Germans are gonna love bad football like me.
Yeah, give me the Raiders here. Like, Andy Dalton's not gonna solve it. Give me the Raiders.
They're a bad team from top to bottom. Las Vegas. They just beat the Ravens.
Yep.
Who I think the Ravens still at 0-2 are a playoff team. So, no, no, just no way.
Just no.
405 CBS. The 1-1 Dolphins minus Tua Tagovailoa are on the road to take on the Seattle Seahawks. 74% of the people are on Seattle -5.5.
Some people say I'm a man of the people, and in this case, they're right again. I've been a man of the people all night. Give me Seattle. We've seen the Dolphins without Tua, with Skylar Thompson. We've seen them with a bevy of not Tua quarterbacks the past couple years, and they just aren't the same. Because Tua is very good for that offense. He's very accurate. He is a very good quarterback for that offense. And
perfect for what they do.
Yeah, perfect for what they do, and they just haven't been able to find someone to replicate that. Give me Seattle.
There's a lot of just no question games this week, it seems, and this is one of them. Give me the Seahawks. We are very united once again. 4:25 on Fox. The 1-1 Detroit Football Lions take on the 1-1 Arizona Cardinals. The Lions, a 2.5-point road favorite.
If you have $5 and are in the Glendale, Arizona area on Sunday at 4:25, go to this game. Why? I don't know how this is the cheapest seat
doesn't make a lot of sense
in the NFL. The Cardinals are hot. The Lions are a good team, even after losing to another very good team in Tampa. Give me Detroit here on this one, just because I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to do what he did against the Rams 2 weeks in a row. He'll still be good, but...
And I mean, he did what he did on very few targets as well.
Yeah.
So if they're able to find him the ball a couple times, a little bit of an odd Detroit secondary. Oh, boy. I'm still going to take the Lions.
That number's just too small.
It is too small, and at some point you feel like the Lions offense is going to wake up. And whatever happened last week with the Cardinals offense just doesn't feel like it can be replicated. Like, that just seems insane that all of a sudden they're crazy.
Yeah.
So, give me the Lions to cover and obviously to win. Sunday, 4:25, the 0-2 Ravens minus 1.5. What a fucking awful schedule for the Ravens to start the year. 1.5 point road favorites going to Jerry World to take on the Cowboys.
And obviously we live in Michigan, so we're going to get the Lions on Fox. I am going to find a way to kind of watch some of this one too, because this could be a good game. Give me the Ravens, though. They're too good. We just saw the Cowboys just get absolutely shelled,
blasted,
bombarded, nuked,
ass blasted.
I wasn't gonna steal your line, but there is no other way to put it.
I'm on the Ravens.
Give me the Ravens.
For 1, with the Cowboys, and 2, Baltimore's too good to go 0-3.
Yep.
Despite how awful this early season schedule is.
Brutal for the Ravens.
25 p.m. on Fox. The 1-1 Niners, which just doesn't seem real. Minus 7.5 taking on the Rams at 0-2, who just got creamed by the Cardinals.
Well, the previous 2 425 games have been good. It's only a matter of time that one of the 425 games on Sunday was going to be ass, because you have to have one that no one's really going to want to watch outside of those two regions. Those two regional footprints. Give me the 49ers here. They're too good.
After what the Rams did last week, Niners.
Yeah.
No question. Sunday Night Football. It was only a matter of time before the Chiefs got their second primetime game of the year. Minus 3.5 on the road to take on Kirk Chains and the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, we get 2 back-to-back weeks. We also get back-to-back weeks of not very good Thursday games. We get back-to-back weeks of what probably won't really be great Sunday night games. Chiefs by more than 3.5.
Yeah, I don't believe in Atlanta. They should be 0-2. I just can't. Can't do it. We have 2 Monday night games this week. Monday at 7:30, the 0-2 Jags plus 5.5 taking on the 2-0 Buffalo Bills. And the people, they're on the Bills, 83%.
I'm also on the Bills. The Jags have been awful. It looks like throwing that money at Trevor Lawrence probably wasn't a good idea right now.
No. Neither was renaming your stadium for a week Trevor Bank Field.
Yeah.
You lost. You're 0-1 for the rest of time in Trevor Bank Field.
Yep.
Or Trevor Bank Stadium, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yep.
Not a question. And Monday at 8:15 on ABC, the Washington Commies plus 7.5 taking on the Bengals in a game that the Bengals can not lose if I want to maintain any faith in Cincinnati.
Yeah, the Bengals just can't lose this game. They're going to cover. Washington's not very good. The Bengals, then after they got 2 games here coming up that they need to win against the Commanders this week and then next week against the fucking Panthers. Give me the Bengals here by enough to cover.
I'm on Cincinnati. They get win number 1. And those are your week 4 college and week 3 NFL picks.
Bang. Now, it is time for Champ and Chump of the Week. Do you want to go first for your champ?
I don't have a champ, so I'm gonna let you go. We only have a chump, and it's a United chump, which is why this man, well, he's not on my graphic apparently, but he's on yours.
He's not on mine either.
What the hell? I sent that to you.
Oh, hang on. I may have forgot to download that one. Please hold.
At least I think I sent that to you.
I may have forgot to download it because I forgot we were going to do that this week.
Actually, hold on. Quick sidebar. I'm gonna make sure I did.
He's there.
Okay, he's there. Awesome.
Okay, please hold.
Your champ of the week, go for it.
Okay, while we are downloading this, my champ of the week is kind of a softball after the game he had on Sunday. Is my champ of the week is Marvin Harrison Jr. He had a phenomenal game. He went out and proved the armchair GMs and the pylons who said that he shouldn't have been a Heisman winner. He wasn't the best receiver in the NFL last year. Oh, he should have went behind Malik Neighbors, and Rome Odunze should have got drafted higher than him. He went out and proved them wrong on Sunday with a phenomenal game on only 4 catches and scored his first 2 NFL touchdowns. So my champ of the week is Marvin Harrison Jr., Maserati Marv. And we are going to wait for Jordan to get back for me to do the chump of the week. That way we can explain the graphic together, because this is a united chump of the week. Yeah, just that's my champ of the week was a softball though. He's almost back in almost perfect time. Are you ready for the chump?
Am I ready for the chump? I lived the chump.
Yeah, we both have in various ways.
More or less. I lived the original chump.
Like, the fact that the chump has happened to us in person is incredible.
Unreal.
If you would have told me when we started this podcast 8 years ago that someone who made this segment, Chump of the Week, was going to be something that happened to us in person. To both of us.
In person and in this town.
In this town, too. I would have laughed at you.
Yep.
Do you want to take the floor? Or do you want me to? Since I kind of dealt with him first.
So maybe you talked to him first.
Technically, Dave talked to him first. I talked to him second, but yeah.
Yes, but I never talked to the subject of this week's Chump of the Week, which is not something we generally do in bring things from outside the sports world, even though this isn't really outside the sports world. Into
the show.
One Aaron Guitar.
Real name, by the way. We are not.
That is a real man's name.
Real baseball player's name.
A real collegiate baseball player's name that for one reason or another has made just about every person at the golf course's life hell for about 5 or 6 days.
Since last Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a tee time on our sheet under the name of Guitar, and I immediately went, oh no. Because it was supposed to be this collegiate baseball reunion for our local community college.
Yep.
And we had remembered the name Aaron Guitar which is a bizarre thing because he was on the baseball team a year ago.
He was
So
bad.
to have a reunion, I'll get to his stats
Okay.
momentarily. He was on the team a year ago, and we're having a reunion less than a year after you last played together. And that reunion is I believe, 5:15 and 5:22 tee time at a golf course.
Yep. And so myself and our other assistant pro, Dave, we both talked to this individual, Aaron Guitar, separately on Friday. He called Dave first at 12, quarter after 12, 20 after 12. It was just a few minutes as I was getting there, after I got there. And wanted 6:30.
Yes.
Now, mind you, the sun sets here in Michigan at 7:30 now.
Yep.
Saturday, a little bit later than that. Saturday, it would have been 7:40-ish, so it's, by today, it was probably 7:34. Yeah. So no go there. And, oh yeah, we're going to have 7, 8, 9 people, because baseball team reunion. Dave tells him, you can only play in groups of 4 or bigger. Oh, okay. I talked to him either on Friday. Actually, no, I talked to him on Saturday because they called on Saturday morning just after we had a 80-person shotgun.
Oh, right. It was, the Saturday they played.
Yeah, Saturday they played. They had an 80-person shotgun. I talked to them after that had started. And they said, oh, well, we're going to have 7. Okay, you got to play in a foursome and a threesome. Well, they ended up having 8.
They wound up with 8.
Yeah, they ended up having 8. They were told by our head pro, Jerry, in very uncertain terms, got to play as 2 foursomes. I'll punt it over to Jordan here in a second. After being upset with Jerry, they went to our kitchen attendant, the lady working the kitchen at the time, not even our kitchen manager, and started demanding the contact information for the owner. Because Aaron Guitar knew Tim Fitzpatrick, our owner, so well. And now I'm going to punt it over to Jordan for a little bit.
So when I clocked in at noon on that day, I was already tasked with keeping an eye on them when they wound up on the course because they're gonna group up.
I gave him that task, unfortunately.
It is what groups of 8 of mid-20-year-old college kids do.
It is, unfortunately.
And when you are the only people on the course for an hour and a half, there is no reason for us to sit there and watch you putz around and play whack fuck for 3.5 hours. So you gotta play in a 4 and 4.
Yep.
So I'm out there watching them, and they're very, very dangerously close to playing in a group of 8.
Before you get to the group of 8, tell them how long it took for these groups to make it through 3 holes, please.
Through 3 holes was over an hour.
Yeah, I was getting ready to sit down and get prepped for my sidecast when I got a text from Jordan. Yeah, well, one group, this was 6:45, almost 7, and mind you, Colorado State kicked off at 7:15, I believe. I was sitting down making the finishing touches on everything, and I get a text, well, through an hour and 15, we got one group through 3.
And not even through 3, by the way. One group was on 3, and the other was on 4's tee.
Yeah. So, yeah. Continue.
So, I mean, we're not all through 3. So, my method of watching people is watching them from the shadows, because I don't really want to get chirped the entire time. I'm out there, And so I think I did too well of a job with that. And our head pro went out because I'm not certain he thought I was even out there.
Oh no, he knew. He saw you when he was going down. He knew you were there because him and I talked about it on Monday.
Yeah. I just kind of roam around and find some hiding spots and just make sure I don't see 4 carts grouping together at one time.
Yeah, he knew you were there.
He's out there and he watched them for the rest of the night because they were coming dangerously close the entire time to being in that territory. And then what do you know? Fast forward to the end of the night, they try and group up on the 9th tee, their final hole, and that is when they exploded.
Yep.
As if they hadn't already, because going back to the interaction with our head pro, coming out of the clubhouse, oh my God, can you believe that guy? Oh my God, Guitar about blew up on him, man.
Parking lot's a little empty, be bitching about that.
Come on, bro. It's a little empty, bro.
Doesn't matter if
Little empty there, bud. This place used to be a country club. It's looking pretty empty here these days. Okay, well, you missed the tournament we had earlier in the day. You people are the only ones that were stupid enough
to want to play
tea time after our tournament.
No, we had one other.
Yeah, they were done
2 hours before those guys got there.
No, they were out there. There was a tea time out there. They just happened to finish about 30 minutes after they went out.
Checks out.
They were the only people on the course for about an hour 45.
Yeah, that checks out.
So, anyway, Aaron Guitar is the mastermind of the stupid, if you will.
Yep.
When it comes to this group. Even though there were 3 others that wanted to be a little bit confrontational, that one especially is the worst one. And now I suppose we fast forward to, I believe, Monday.
Yes. I'm actually checking real quick to see if we've gotten any reviews. No, we have not gotten any reviews since none of your business.
I'm surprised.
I
really am.
Yeah, I was checking. Now I will take Monday. Nothing really happened on Sunday, surprisingly. Monday rolls around.
Sunday, Aaron Guitar probably had to nurse the hangover.
Yeah. Sunday rolls around.
He probably forgot about it because his head hurt.
Yeah. Monday rolls around. Jesus Christ almighty, dog. No. Monday rolls around.
It's 11 o'clock. Go away.
I want to finish this, and then we can go to bed. Aaron Guitar calls Monday.
Unreal.
Gets Jerry.
Unreal.
I want to speak to your manager. And
speaking to him.
We're speaking to him. We're speaking. Jerry even told him. Speaking to him. And what Jerry told him, Jerry.
The exact quote, and I'm going to try my best to replicate the facial expressions of Jerry when he told me about this, was that he asked for the manager, and Jerry just goes, speaking.
Followed it up. So you've heard this part of the story then. Good.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Followed it up.
No, Jerry, let me all know, because me and Jerry have had just apparently battles after battles with Aaron Guitar.
Speaking. Jerry tells him he's speaking to him. Aaron says nothing. Jerry says, "Oh, how you doing?" And I was here for this conversation.
He told me about this. How you doing, Aaron? Because we have caller ID.
I was here in the pro shop for this conversation. I heard this word for word. How you doing, Aaron? Aaron blows up on him. I need Tim's contact information. I need Tim Fitzpatrick's contact information. I need the owner's contact information. And Jerry said, "You don't want to go down this route."
I was gonna say the best way to sum this up and sum it up quickly is that Mr. Aaron Guitar, Mr. Big Man,
Thinks he's
played community college baseball and posted a 7.32 ERA in 9 games.
gave up as many
3
home
starts.
runs as he had strikeouts.
I don't know if that's true. I don't think he allowed a whole lot of home runs because he didn't. I mean, it's community college baseball. Nobody's hitting a lot of home runs. However, what I do know for a fact is that he allowed 30 hits
Yes.
in the 2023 season.
I did a little bit of extra.
Struck out only 10.
I did a little bit of extra digging. He gave up 8 home runs.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that bad?
not good.
No.
Gave up almost as many home runs as strikeouts.
So,
he's some-
Mr.
Go ahead.
And by the way, at least according to Jerry, he was the best pitcher they had. So of course his head is massive.
Yeah. And he was the one who thinks he's a local celebrity because he got put on all of the media promotional stuff for this baseball team that was in their, depending on who you ask, I thought it was their first year last year. I've been told last year was their last year was their second. Okay.
Yep. Yes, because Aaron Guitar was on the team for 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, he was the one on all of the promotional stuff for the past 2 years for their team.
Yes.
So he thinks he's a
Apparently won
local
best pitcher.
Jesus. Thinks he's a local celebrity.
7.32
And
in
once
community college MCAA baseball.
yeah, thinks he is and here's the thing. The owner of our golf course is the biggest.
This is the most important part for him wanting the contact information of our owner.
And Aaron was acting like him and Tim knew each other and were on first name basis. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Tim Fitzpatrick is the biggest donor, not to just Alpena Community College Athletics, to the college. Yeah.
Chicken Jesus makes it happen, man.
He makes it happen at ACC, at the Alpena Community College, not the ACC conference though.
No.
Jerry, had the pleasure of talking to Tim on Monday, just shortly after Aaron Guitar called, looking for Tim's contact information.
I would have given it to him. I 100%. If I had the phone in my hand, I am giving Aaron Guitar Tim's phone number immediately.
The kicker in all of this, again, Aaron makes it sound like him and Tim are on first name basis.
Yeah, they're on first name basis because all the classes he attends are in buildings with Tim's name on it.
Yeah. One 75, I believe now, year old Mr. Tim Fitzpatrick, who, yeah, he's on the older side, still has a pretty good memory. Does not know who Aaron Guitar is.
He remembers that we're dumb as fuck.
I mean, that's not hard to remember, let's be honest. He does not know who Aaron Guitar is. And when Jerry told him Aaron Guitar's name, Tim thought Jerry was giving him a fake name at first. And then Jerry told him, oh, he's on the baseball team. And Tim's like, well, what position did he play? Oh, he was a pitcher. Oh, it might have been that kid that was on all the promotional stuff. Tim doesn't know him.
Yep.
That's the best part.
Sure don't.
Tim has no clue who this kid is, and Buddy thinks he's a local celebrity trying to. He was wronged because he's a local big shot that had
you have a goofy last name. You have nothing going for you when it comes to collegiate baseball.
You don't even
playing community college baseball. You're from fucking Utica.
Yep.
You're a nobody in a town full of nobodies. Nobody cares about you. Nobody even knew that Alpena had a baseball team because you play out of town.
Yeah, you don't even play in Alpena. You play in the county. You don't play in the city.
I don't even know if they play in the county.
Yeah, they do.
Is Austinique in the county?
Yeah.
It's probably borderline.
Not as borderline as you think. It doesn't go to Alcona. It doesn't go to Alcona for another little bit. Yeah. You don't play in the city proper. You're bad, and you go.
We have 10 people attend your games. More people attend Little League games than ACC games.
Yeah, and you go up. You go to the your team's biggest donor's place of business, secondary place of business because KFC is in town. Act like a fucking ass, and then when you get called out on it, you want his contact information just for him to tell you. And this is what Tim said on the phone to Jerry. Well, if Aaron ever finds out how to get in touch with the WMCR office, I want to talk to him, and I'll just tell him to go fuck himself.
I'm really tempted to find Aaron Guitar on Facebook or any sort of social media. And I don't have Tim's number, which is unfortunate. But I would love to give it to him because I want that to happen because he is not ready.
No.
Because he wants to act like the biggest Karen of all time. I want to speak to the manager. Okay, well, you got him. I want to speak to the owner. You really don't.
And
really don't, because our manager is enforcing the rules set forth by our owner.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing. He may not even, unless Tim really wants to talk to him, he may not even make it past the lady who answers the phones at the main office, Mary. She would blow up at him.
Well, you have Tim's phone number, yes?
No, I do not have his. Tim has mine. I do not have his.
Oh. Well, so we need to get Aaron Guitar in contact with Mr. Chicken Jesus himself, and because I want that phone call to be recorded and documented for the absolute comedy that would ensue.
I agree. That would be amazing.
So, needless to say, we've had a week, and it is all because of a man whose name is Aaron Guitar, who is now permanently on the graphic here for Season 8. He is a rare double chump of the week, which qualifies him.
He gets the exemption of having to be here twice. That we had to make up.
Aaron.
This week.
Aaron Guitar.
Aaron Guitar is your chump of the week.
Aaron Guitar is.
He could be chump of the year, honestly.
I was gonna say, he might be chump of the year. I just don't understand a community college baseball player who was hot ass and the way that he does. Like you always hear great stories of pro athletes when they go out to businesses around where they are, and they're always usually, outside of very few stories, very highly thought of because they are very nice to the staff. They are very appreciative of the staff, and especially pro athletes are always going to be I remember hearing a story about Matthew Stafford going to a Buffalo Wild Wings in Detroit and leaving $100 tip. And it's like, when you make $100 million, your wings should cost that much.
Yeah. And so
Aaron Guitar makes no money. He's ass at baseball, and
he's ass.
And he's an ass.
Yeah. And just on that little note you had right there to wrap up, when I played down at Grand Valley, when I played football, Not even just when I played football at Grand Valley. When I played here in Alpena at the high school level, if anybody from the team, we had this happen down in Grand Valley. If anyone from the team went out and acted like a fucking dipshit like this in public in someone's place of business, and it got back to the team, they were suspended.
Well, it's tough to suspend somebody with no eligibility potentially remaining.
Yeah, Aaron Guitar, he can't get suspended because he most likely has 0 eligibility remaining. But
because it's community college baseball, you have 2 years.
Yeah, it's like this happens. There's a reason. You more often than not, especially at the college level, you hear of athletes when they do go somewhere. It doesn't happen very often because let me tell you, as a college athlete, we don't have a lot of time to go places during the season. We don't have a lot of time to go places during the off season. But when you hear these stories of athletes going places, there's a reason. More often than not, they're not dicks. Because you hear about it if they are. And there's repercussions.
Well, you see, maybe there's a reason Aaron Guitar wasn't good at baseball. Because he was an ass from the minute he was born.
I was wondering where you were going with that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, for your final note, Aaron Guitar. That's the show. It's bedtime. Aaron Guitar's an ass.
I really hope he shows back up.
I do too.
Especially now that I know what he looks like. Because all I saw was 8 baseball players who were all assholes. And then I looked up what he looks like. So now I'm going to remember the face.
Yeah.
Especially when some little fucking acne-ridden punk shows up with a beer belly and just says, "Hey, it's Jerry here."
How you doing, Aaron?
What's going on, Aaron?
Good to see you again.
7.32, man.
Man, must have had a rough season last year.
Oh man, it's gonna be better next year.
That's the show. We will see you guys.
Oh wait, you don't have any eligibility left.
Not
Beer
at
League
AC.
softball. Beer League softball is gonna go real great.
Because of the way
You're gonna be a stud in Beer League.
Because of the way NAIA sports works, he does have eligibility, just not at ACC.
Well, yeah, that would require an actual team to take him on.
He could trick some other team that is starting their program for the first time.
Aaron Guitar.
That's the show. Aaron Guitar. We'll see you guys next week. Till then, peace out. Stay classy. See ya.